So a very quick short. From time to time people ask me why I do my channel, so very simply put, a couple of youngsters were looking out for me after the mother of these two youngsters was telling people that I just upped and left, or whatever version it is she's telling people. So the reason I continue doing my channel today is because it's amazing and I love creating content and I love sharing my knowledge. But anyways, today lots of professionals have been involved where she's actually manipulated these people as well as manipulating these two youngsters. Only recently she's actually admitted, once all these so-called professionals are out of the picture, that I personally never did anything. And I've never hurt any youngsters, and in fact I've never hurt her. Listen to this, and just bear in mind this is someone who totally accuses me for the last few years of hurting children and her.
You've already admitted that you badmouthed Jamie in front of the kids. You admitted.
Yes, and I hold my hand up. There are times when I maybe wasn't thinking clearly and I'd said things that weren't appropriate.
I mean that he has never battered you, and I know that.
He hasn't, and I've never, ever said he's laid a finger on me.
I know
he
that.
Hasn't, and I've never, ever said he's laid a finger on me. I've never, ever said he's laid a finger on me. I've never, ever said he's laid a finger on me.
We also know that none of the social workers were in any full belief that he'd ever raised a finger to your children either.
No, and I have said this. Anything the children said was from them. Okay? I never was in a room with Jamie when he laid a finger on the children, and not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical. I never was in a room with Jamie when he laid a finger on the children, and not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical. Okay? I never was in a room with Jamie when he laid a finger on the children, and not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical. Okay, I never was in a room with Jamie when he laid a finger on the children, and not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical. Okay, I never was in a room with Jamie when he laid a finger on the children, and not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical. Not 1 second do I ever think that he did. The abuse was not physical.
So there you go, like I say, that's the evidence, black and white evidence. And so she's been doing this for the past 5 years to me. She's been lying to professionals, she's been lying to youngsters, and she's just generally a very sick and twisted woman, which frankly needs locking up. We look at Johnny Depp case, look at Amber Heard, what a disgrace. And so women like my ex will abuse and use the system because, let's just frankly say it, the culture we live in the Western world, or in fact the world as a whole, truly believe that men are abusive. And scum like this will continuously do this because they know the professionals involved in this type of scenario are so poor that, I mean beyond poor, that they take full advantage of this. And so innocent people like myself and those youngsters involved suffer as a consequence through these poor services and their inabilities to actually deal with matters at hand, where there's true child abuse here, which is actually child manipulation. So mental abuse is child abuse. Making a child believe someone's dangerous or fearful is just terrible. And this woman today actually does this to me. Absolutely disgusting. And to be honest with you, I've been doing YouTube for all this time now, and in the early days of YouTube, I was doing parental alienation, and this type of thing comes out, like I say, as soon as the professionals involved in this, which they did a bad job in the first place, but as soon as they're gone out the picture, this woman will break orders that certain people's put in place. She'll break those orders, she'll continue her manipulation, but I just want to make light, and I want to make a bit more of an awareness, like I was doing on my channel to begin with, of parental alienation. And when you hear the word child abuse, don't just naturally assume that child abuse is about hurting your kids physically. I mean, by far, any adult with any logic in their head will understand that mental abuse, making people fearful for no reason, just for their own pure narcissism and selfishness, is highly more damaging. This is going to cause serious mental issues later on in life. You know, the dependency to illegal drugs is likely going to kick in with mentally abused children. Yet people, women, and even some men out there will continue to do this to prevent the truth from releasing and to keep themselves looking squeaky clean. Well, I've just kept you squeaky clean. Now the world knows what you really are.